Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today's Redington virtual session. The topic for today's session is Unleash Your Data with Intelligent Data Platform. The speaker for today's session will be Norman. During the session, if you have any questions, please put them on the Q&A tab on the left, and they'll be answered at the end of the session. Norman, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining for this webinar series, in which we normally brings you like different topics. Specifically, from the HPE side, we have talked about many of the different solutions, and today we are going to talk about intelligent data platform. Basically, this particular topic is very much important as concerned that going in the future era, where we are speaking about the cloud technologies, where we are speaking about the exponential growth in the data. Every organization, in either you belong to an end customer or you belong to a specific partner, either we talk about the SMBs, either we talk about the enterprise customers. Everybody, data is been now a new goal. Means that data has been more important as far as the future is concerned. So how actually this particular topic and HP came up with some of the ideas that how we can leverage most from our data, how we can make most of it, how we can create or we can analyze our data and make futuristic decisions on based on those particular things. So we will be discussing on many of the platforms in which HP is been emphasizing, and we will be also discussing on many of the storage platforms in which we can see that how HP is leveraging and why HP says that the data is intelligent and how we can make most of it. See, this presentation is emphasized on intelligence because we believe that intelligence has changed everything. Means that gone those days where we used to use storages just to store our data. We have some certain amount of files, and storage is only used to store that amount of data somewhere around, like if we talk about SMBs. SMB customers might be requiring some sort of data of 10 TB to 20 TB for a data storage, and they might use a server for accessing those files. Might be to store some of the applications, to store some of the workloads, and fetching the data to and fro. Now we are in the new era. We are talking about intelligence. We don't want our storages to store data. We want some analysis out of it. We want some automation out of it. We want some meaningful results out of it, so that we can stand out from our competition, and we can have those competitive advantages, and we can reduce our downtime. And we don't want to manage our storages like an IT manager. Is the job of IT manager, so just to make sure that the infrastructure is up and running. We want more than that. We want those resources to be more to have more value, to contribute more value to the organization. How we can do that? This is just a history that where it all started. As we always know that in the era of this particular the current segment in which we are living in, we have like explosion of data. Where the data is coming from? The data is coming from many of the IoT devices, many of the users itself. And if you remember the past 10 years, if we talk about 2010 to 2020, how much progression the cloud has made, and how much progression, for example, like if we take a real time example, not from the professional side but also from the personal side, that how much evolution the Facebook has come up across, or Gmail has come up across, or Microsoft is coming up with the open free accounts. How much the cloud has been evolved from 2010 to 2020. So we can easily witness that the era is going somewhere around, like there is a massive change going on in the entire world. And how we can cope up with all these changes happening, how we come up with the speed that whatever data has been bringing up to our organization, are we ready really that if there would be a sudden change, can we cope up with that? Those who are not ready would definitely collapse. So first of all, it started with the flash era. People wanted to be very much competent enough and wanted to reduce the downtime. So we started emphasizing on speed, simplicity, and efficiency. Then people started talking about the agility as a service experience. That was the cloud era. Now we are sitting in the era which is known as intelligent era, the era in which people are starting talking about the artificial intelligence, the machine languages, Kubernetes, or maybe like Docker containers and everything. People want more agility, people want more speed, plus also people want the architectures, the platforms which are AI driven, artificial intelligence driven. Why artificial intelligence? Because we want always on, always fast, always agile, and also we want some innovation. Now, as we see that why intelligence is really required. Intelligence is the key of infrastructure management. Why? Because currently, if you see many of the enterprise organization have this sort of architecture, which you can see in your screen right now. We have storages, we have networks, we have servers, we have if the organization is going towards the virtualization. So in like many of the 90% of the
Noman, we can't hear you.
organization.
Hello? Noman? Noman?
Am I audible?
Now we can hear you. I think you just
Okay.
went, yeah. Noman, we can't still hear you. Noman?
Another administrators called a network administrator. That means that in the organization we have like different tiers, and whenever it comes to a trouble problems, intelligent is of taming the hybrid complexity. See, many of the CIOs have who are in
Chanakya, are you still there?
is involving in if we
Noman,
move.
Noman.
Yes, I'm there.
Hello.
You know what? Your voice is not very clear. Chanakya, could you just check on this because people are not being able to hear his.
Norman, could you kindly exit the session and then join once again, or probably join from your mobile data? Norman, can you hear us?
Yeah, wait, I'm doing it.
All right.
So I need to exit the session, right?
Yes, exit and rejoin with the same link that you have.
Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but I think you did not leave the session. Could you exit the session? There's a button on the bottom left corner.
Bottom left corner, yeah. Switch to phone. Anybody from the participant side can hear me?
We can hear you, Norman. I believe they can hear you as well.
Okay. So can I continue?
Sure. Could you share your screen? We can't see your screen.
Yeah. I'm sharing it right now.
Perfect.
I think it's fine now. Go ahead, Noman.
Okay. I'm again moving to a slideshow. All right. So everybody can view my screen right now, right? Correct? Okay. All right. So I was just talking about like people are migrating towards the cloud, which is known as hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud is the combination of your on premises and a public cloud. Means that people are now aware that every workload cannot be run on a public cloud, and there are some workloads which can give more ROI if can be run on the public cloud. So people have decided to move certain workloads. For example, like we have an example over here in this particular slide, that workloads like mission critical, big data and AI, DevOps means that people who are the developers and operations team. Workloads like secondary workloads, and that means that it's a copy of a data. General purpose workloads means that the normal file workloads or day-to-day virtualization and the VMware workload and VMs and all. So actually the problem is we have to decide what workload should be sitting at what platform. Either we need a public cloud to access this workload. Maybe like I would be in a position to give a better ROI to the company, or I can perform this maximum out of this workload when I sit on premises with this workload. So this is the architecture which many of the companies are been following, which is known as hybrid cloud. But the problem over here is that we have to make sure, or we have to make a decision which workload needs to be on premises and which workloads needs to be on the public cloud. Now, intelligence is the key for data management. So this is what we are providing the answer for that we can come up with the solution that what workload would give you a better performance sitting on what specific platform. How we can do that? Where the optimal place of the data to live in on each step of the life cycle. Means, for example, the SQL workload might be possible that you might be having better performance when you basically store or run those workloads in your on premises. Maybe some of the virtualization data some can be run on EC2 instances of your Azure private cloud or AWS private cloud, or sorry, public cloud. So this is what the thing is, that intelligence is basically having an idea that what is the right mix for my workload. This slide actually says that by 2025 there would be explosion of data, which we have already witnessed from our bare eyes. That we are talking about somewhere around like zillions of data. Now we are talking about terabytes and petabytes and all. Okay, because we know that what are the sources of these data. Because see, every organization is in this current era is coming up with the applications. Because for example, if you see in UAE itself, many of the organizations are creating their own applications. Those applications are made for the Google platform or for the iOS platform or for many of the mobile users, plus as well as they are also using public cloud entities to manage those applications. So the data has been generated in many of the sources, which, for example, like users or some IoT devices, for example, like surveillance data, that can be generated from many of the IP cameras. For example, like different sensors. For this, for example, like here you can see a car over here. This is an example of a Tesla. Many of the sensors are generating many of the data, and so that they are able to perform the AI out of that. So this is the value of the data which we are talking about. So if you have the power of the data and you know how to intelligently transform the data through a meaningful results out of that, so we can definitely have the competitive advantage over our competition. You need an intelligent data strategy to do that. What is the data strategy on a high level side? The strategy which says we need always on devices, we need always fast devices, we need automated and on demand, we need hybrid by design, which we discussed in the previous slide, plus we need a global intelligence. So what actually
Internal
what
matter.
actually we
It
meant
is
by,
all inside. And we're sharing only the invoice.
hello, sorry, can you hear me, right? Oh, sorry. Okay, so I was just talking about like how the data is been intelligent. So now I'm going to talk about the intelligent data platform. This is the basis of the intelligent platform. So we start from the basic layer, which is the access layer. In access layer, we say that we have workload optimized composable systems. We have talked about different sort of workloads. We have talked about mission critical workloads. We have talked about general purpose workloads or secondary workloads, like a copy of the primary data, like a big data or data lakes and all. Plus we have edge, private and hybrid. These are the any cloud infrastructure in which we have like a data center sitting on the private cloud, or we have the hybrid cloud environment. Now what global intelligence is, that we can provide predictive analytics, we can provide like workload footprints, global learning and recommendations. On top of that, we have our application layer, which is like applications like SQL, Oracle, SAP, and like big data applications like blue data, MAPR and all, and automation tools like Ansible, Kubernetes, Chef, APIs and all. We also have the cloud data management, which is like a data lifecycle, context aware and catalog. And who are the users of these? There are like many of the type of users we can target on. We can target line of business owners. We can target like a VM admin, cloud admin, DevOps team, data scientist, and infrastructure admin. So these all people are leveraging from the data and getting a meaningful result out of that. So this is the product portfolio on a high level side, that shows that what HP has to offer. We have three main pillars when we talk about the HPE storages or intelligent data platform. Our storages are first of all cloud ready. Our storages can be offered as a service, and our storages are ready for greater availability. These are the three important pillars which I will be talking on most of the basis. We have segregated our storage portfolio in many of the areas depending on the workloads which we have discussed. For example, like if we have a workload of mission critical, then we have to offer HPE Primera 3-part storages, which are provenly recorded, and it has 100% availability. When we talk about Primera, it has active architecture and specially designed for tier 0 and tier 1 workloads of mission critical data centers. When we talk about general purpose workloads, we have a variety of storages, which is like a complete series of Nimble is there. Nimble storage is basically AI ready, and it is like offered in two basic flavors, which is like AF all flash and HF hybrid flash, which comes up like with the cost effectiveness of hybrid, as well as the speed of and agility of all flash. Then we have our HCI solution, which is this HP SimpliVity. Now it's been the part of the HP storage platform. The HP SimpliVity is basically HCI solution, which has a DNA of DL380s and DL360s Proline servers. On top of that, we have a software layer which basically combines the software layer, which combines the compute, storage, and networking, and gives you a very good HCI experience. And on top of that, it also has the capability of data protection as well. So we can size it up based on your data protection need, your fully VMware infrastructure, your VDI infrastructure. So we can give everything in a small boxes. So minimum there is like a requirement for 2 nodes. So 2 node solution would give you a high availability and a better performance. Then we have secondary workload. In secondary workload, we can use the similar nimble storage in HF fashion. HF means again hybrid flash. So you can have the SSDs for caching, as well as the normal spindle drives to store the data for the secondary type of workloads. We can also use the HPE Store Ones. Store Ones is a dedicated backup appliance which has HPE Catalyst, which is a software, a proprietary protocol which uses the deduplication and compression in an effective way. Then we have some tools for AI and analytics, which is called as Blue Data and MAPR and Cloudera and Cumulo. These tools are been utilized for in order to have the AI platform or the analytics platform or the big data platform. These tools can be combined with many of these other storages or many of the other servers like Apollo servers and all. So it would give you a proper analytical tools or analytical solution, you can say. Then we have on the edge part, we can design a solution with HPE SimpliVity and MAPR, which we discussed in the previous in the workload optimized composable solution. Okay, so these solutions are built for any cloud. If we talk about the edge, if we talk about the private cloud, we can design a solution based on SimpliVity and DHCI, Nimble Storage, Primera, and Synergy. And if we talk about the hybrid cloud, so we have the complete seamless communication happening between our on-premises and our cloud. The major challenge of going in hybrid cloud is that how you're going to communicate, because many of your applications might be residing on a public cloud, and your applications might also be residing on a private cloud as well. Okay, so when we are talking about the hybrid cloud architecture, it seems very good that yes, okay, I would be I would be running few of my applications on a cloud, which is like AWS or Azure, whatever, and then I would be also running some of the applications on premises. Okay, and I would be making most of it. But the challenge comes up when, first of all, to decide what applications or what workloads you're gonna run on the public cloud, and what applications or what workloads are suitable most for your on-premises environment. Then the challenge is how you're gonna communicate your public cloud as well as with your private cloud or your own premises data center. Then it comes up like what would be the unexpected cost when I need to throw the data into the public cloud and again fetch the data back from the public cloud. What charges they would be like, because everybody would be telling you, okay, fine, it's free of cost, it's pay per use model, go inside the cloud and create your instances and all, create your S3 bucket. But when you try to fetch the data back, that is the challenge where we're gonna hit some egress cost, because you are using the internet medium and again fetching data from the cloud. Okay, so we also have certain solutions known as HPE Cloud Volumes, HPE Cloud Bank. HPE Cloud Volume is a solution which is attached to any of our on-premises storages. For example, if we talk about Nimble, if we talk about 3PAR, which is our on-premises storage, we can have subscription that you can use to save your data on the cloud volumes. that is a native like data center available next to AWS. Okay, that uses the AWS only. For example, whatever your preferred cloud is, AWS, Azure, Google, Oracle. So we basically use that particular public cloud, but there is a medium in between, so that you must not be hit by the egress cost of whenever you try to recover the data back from the cloud. So this is what we have solutions like that as well. Oh, okay. Before moving forward, I just talked about the intelligence. Every platform which we discussed over here, either we talk about nimble storage, either we talk about 3PAR, Primera, every storage here has been covered. Even though if we talk about simplicity and synergy as well, so every component over here has been uh, managed or is been powered by InfoSight. InfoSight is basically the artificial intelligence platform, and we have acquired InfoSight through Nimble in back in 2010. So it's been now more than like almost like 10 years, where HPE has emphasized and made huge investments in the AI platform, because we know that where the future era is going on. So we have came up with many of the like trillions of telemetry data. First of all, I like to explain that what actually InfoSight actually is. InfoSight basically gives you the telemetry information of it's a predictive analytics that would analyze the data, and it would also give you that what actually your infrastructure is having a problem, or it would about to have some problems in future. So it would give you predictive analytics, and most of the problems it would be automated. For example, like because I have the telemetry data, so InfoSight analyzes that if this particular problem arised in the future, or sorry, in the past, with some other array of similar nature, then if the problem was there, then what was the solution. So after getting that solution, the problem was resolved. So all this data has been stored in the InfoSight, and it's constantly fetching the data from most of the contextual data points, contextual footprints, we can say. So it would give you a predictive analytics, it would give you remedies automatically, plus it would automatically resolve many of the problems, even those problems which are outside the storage world. I'm just not talking about the storage here. I'm talking about the entire infrastructure. So it would again suggest that the problem lies in the VM, problem lies in the operating system, problem lies in the storage, problem lies in the specific or IOPS, or specific connectivity, specific network. So this is the granular access where what InfoSec can bring up with. And an important thing, this is not any license. This is included in every storage, built in with every storage. So there is no specific licenses for getting this InfoSight. And plus, and most important thing, that InfoSight basically generates tickets automatically and resolves the problem by itself, releasing the IT staff in manualizing the generation of tickets and resolving the issues, and talking to the engineers of the vendor, and whatever problems which are not resolvable, so it raises the tickets automatically directly to the level 3 engineers, where the problems have arrived for the first time. So it directly leverages the ticket to the level 3 engineers, and level 3 engineers would resolve the problem, and then again update the database that if this particular problem arrives, so this can be solved by updating a patch, for example. And the last, these all our storages can be offered as a service. That means that we are not here to sell a particular product. We are here to offer our services. That means that uh, platforms of like mission critical storages like 3PAR, Simplicity, Primera, or Nimble, everything is offered as a service. That means that you can easily avail, and you can easily avail on the basis of GBs which you consume. this is what we are bringing as a cloud economical model on premises. That means that you would be having only that particular data which you are consuming in GBs. You have to pay for only that particular data. Plus we are also pre-provisioning the resources on your data center, so that if you have a need of a spike or something, or if the demand goes ahead, so that you have the resources available on your data center, so that you would not be uh, fail short in getting the storage resources on time. But the resources which are present on your data center, you don't need to pay for it. You only need to pay for those resources which you are consuming. So this is why we say that we are cloud ready, and we are everything as a service. HP Intelligent Data Platform built for the cloud era. We this is what I was just repeating again and again, that we are AI driven. That means that we have a very powerful tool called InfoSight, which I have discussed in the previous slide. We are built for cloud, like we have tools to orchestrate our workloads with the right mix, and where we want to use our data or workload. For example, if we want to put our workload on premises, if you want to put our workload on public cloud, or if you're doing some hybrid, so how are we going to do that? We have solutions like cloud volumes, cloud data bank and all, so that we say that we are built for cloud applications. Everything as a service, the last and the third pillar, everything as a service, that we have a platform called HPE GreenLake, which I discussed on the previous slide, that it is available as a consumption based model as well. The intelligent data platform is AI driven. These things I have already discussed, and these are just the slides which we have already taken care of. That when we say that we are AI driven, that means that we accelerate our innovation, we are reducing our risk and increasing our uptime, and we are unlocking the insights. That means that either any layer of storage, servers, networking, or virtualization, innovate, not administrate. This is our motto. That means that we don't need to spend our time in troubleshooting and getting the things done, and our duty is to just make things always on. We we are here to bring value to the company, and we are here to innovate. Then we say that we have InfoSight would provide you effortless management, spending up to 85% less cost in managing the storage. And we have autonomous infrastructure, and we have transformational experience. By 86% of the issues automatically open and resolved, which I have already mentioned you in the previous slide. This is one of the case study in which how InfoSights give the great overview of HPE storage infrastructure, and HPE InfoSight makes day-to-day operations easier and essential. You can easily make some configurations and have a granular access, and have a visualization on a bigger picture, not only on the storage side but also on the server side, and also on the VM level. Now, if when say that intelligent data platform is built for cloud, that means that mobility for all. We can move our applications, we can move our workloads for all sort of workloads towards our hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud means that we have a combination of public cloud and private cloud. How are we going to mobilize our applications? We can protect and manage the data, full lifecycle management and production to our data, any workload, anywhere. We have composable infrastructure. That means that we have agile infrastructure and automation. That means that we have a fluid pool of resources, that every storage or every server available is been contributing. There are no silos in between. So we have a complete resource pool, and whenever we want to extract any sort of resources in terms of GBs or in terms of memory and all, so we have a fluid pool to do that. This is what the composable infrastructure is. Hybrid by design to drive cloud strategy. That means that we have already discussed on this cloud volumes, cloud bank storages, and composable cloud. Composable cloud I haven't discussed because this is a different discussion altogether. Composable cloud, I'll give you a high level idea that composable cloud is basically having a fluid pool of resources where you have some sort of templates based on your resources. For example, like I have 2 or 3 servers. Just for an SMB example, I have 2 or 3 servers, and in those servers I have in aggregatedly I have somewhere around like 32 cores of physical processors, and I have somewhere around like 128 GB of RAM, and I have somewhere around like 4 TB of storage available. So instead of these 3 servers acting as a like separate silos or separate pool of resources, we combine all 3 servers as one cluster, and we would give you a fluid pool of resources, so that whenever your workload wants a specific resource, it can grab a specific resource. It can grab a resource from that fluid pool of resource, and we can use that workload to consume that resources. And when the workload is no more required, so the resources again go back to the fluid pool of resource, like that. So this is where the composable cloud comes into the picture. We have already discussed on the cloud volumes and cloud bank storage, where we can save some egress cost from our public cloud providers, and we can have an ease to save our backup data, our secondary data, or even though people are also keeping your primary data in the cloud volumes as well. So this is one of the what we can say case where we were looking for a storage solution to build up an open architecture with no limits and options. If we want to make changes to our infrastructure down the road, just need to simple rock solid storage that work for our existing infrastructure. That is why we found Nimble Storage. This is one of the example of one of the end customer, that how they are satisfied with the Nimble Storage. Then we say that we are everything as a service. We have workload available as a service. We have consumption based models. Plus, also we have something called timeless. Timeless is something which is predictable cost and upgrades for your storages. See, we say that if you guys buy a timeless, it's a subscription. Then you are you are buying something which is future proof. For example, like whenever we talk about the storage, so definitely we'll ask customers that, see, for how many years you are expecting that this storage would last. For example, like if you are buying 20 dB for now, and on a specification of a controller for to manage those 20 dB of storage, so customer might say that I might be requiring for this storage to last for 3 years or 5 years. So if you want to have something beyond that, because in IT industry we know that the life cycle of a specific IT product are somewhere around like 3 to 5 years. After 3 years, there might be some other controller. There might be some other storage coming up into the picture. So we emphasize on getting it timeless. That means that it is a future investment, or it is like something called an investment protection for you, that this subscription after 3 years HP would give you the revised controller, or the revised drives, or whatever new technology would be available after 3 to 5 years. There is only one more vendor known as Pure Storage which offer this sort of services. No other vendor is offering this timeless subscription, in which you have an opportunity to secure your investment for more than 5 years. Consumption based model, we have already discussed that you can only pay what you want to use. You would be only paying in terms of GBs, not you're not paying for the the hardware infrastructure. Because see, in every organization, application or the workload is a king, is a hero. Okay, so we have to serve the king. We not have to serve the other stuff like 3 par, or 3 par is in yellow color, who cares? Nimble is in green color, it's a good enclosure, who cares? But I want my application to be up and running. So this is why we are offering our infrastructure as a service. and this would eliminate your hazards of public cloud, because why the people are moving towards public cloud initially, that they thought that they would be increasing their simplicity, but actually in the reality they are they are having certain, they are still facing some problems. So still we are providing the same experience, same agility, but on premises, because in on when you talk about on premises, then we have a better control. It's our data center. We know we can, for example, I'll give you a small example, that the troubleshooting in public cloud, you don't know that if I want to run IGMP, if I want to run ping, I cannot, because I don't know what is the destination. So here we have a complete picture, because every resource is available in my data center, but I am paying what actually I am using. I am only paying in GBs. Whatever GB per unit I am consuming, I am only paying for that. We also have workload as a service, in which is like a self-service infrastructure as a code built for automation for DevOps team. We have like our software infrastructure, and we are like collaborating with many of the software vendors, like Docker, like Chef, like Puppet. So all these workloads, or all these workloads are available as a code as a service. So we are also providing these things as a service as well. Accelerate your migration to intelligent storage. This is just another example of what HPE Financial Services has to offer. They are modernizing the existing infrastructure by funding your transaction, and acquire test and certification equipment for short duration, reduce financial burdens from you, defer and start monthly payments to avoid double bubble cost. These are the some of the offerings if you want to avail the OPEX model rather than the consumption based model. There is a difference between an OPEX model and a consumption based model. OPEX model is basically your installments, where you have where you have chopped your complete capex into some small monthly installments. So this can be done by having the HPE Financial Services coming into the picture. Intelligence changes everything, turns your data challenges into business opportunities, and intelligent data platform. See, I think now at the end of this presentation, everybody should be agreeing that how intelligence changes your mindset, your usage of your storage. Your storage is just not a platform where you are dumping data. It's been intelligent. Now it knows what actually your data is, and where the data is coming from, and what is the right place, right mix of the data. It is AI driven, it is built for cloud, and it can be consumed as a service. So this is the end of my presentation. This is my email address, noman.alauddin@redingtongulf.com. So if you guys have any queries, so just contact me directly, or contact Redington team. So definitely we are looking forward to work together.
Thank you, Norman. Norman, I just have one request. Could you please just broadcast your email ID in the Q&A tab for anyone
Sure.
to reach out to you personally if they have to?
Sure. Wait a minute. It's nauman.alauddin@redingtongulf.com. Yeah. So if anybody if anybody wants to reach to me, so this is my email address. You can definitely drop an email to me.